Recommend me a book about a kid looking at design pajamas. Okay, moving on.
Sorry, we were... Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Pointless Discourse with myself, Hoppocalypse, and Itisdpayne.
Hello, it is me, Itisdpayne. I also realized I never brought up the fact list.
I also didn't help out and highlight the fact list for you, so we're both doing great tonight. We've only been chatting for like an hour now. We're so prepared for this episode of the podcast.
Rookie numbers. Rookie numbers for the amount of time we talk.
This number.
Also, I'm like looking around like, where?
Oh my goodness. We only have one episode after this one.
Yeah, but still two more to record.
Timelines. This is our 23rd movie for watching 24 A24 movies in 2024.
I also want to let you know that, what is it? Wow, we are really far ahead. This Monday, in the actual day, Everything Everywhere All at Once did get uploaded. So it's.
Are you doing the double whammy, or are you doing the
reordering?
reordering?
No, because you did not seem to enjoy that suggestion. But I can still do it. I
just didn't reply. I think that's a different. Did I reply?
I don't know. What did I write? I can't remember.
It's okay. At the time this comes out, the joke is going to be very much done.
No, you know what I said? Here it was. I thought it would be, I just had a thought which made me laugh. Release The Green Room and Everything Everywhere All at Once on the same day with the same number, and you're like, oh no.
Okay, yeah, that does sound like I didn't like it. That's fair.
And so, but the thing is, there's still time for me to do that. We would just have to add one more week to our next thing, but then it would ruin our 24 weeks of A24. But anyway, the 23rd fact is the company has little over 100 employees.
I doubt that. What do we know what year this fact list came out? I know it disappeared from the internet at a point.
Yeah, I want to say whatever the Awkwafina movie that was coming out. The Farewell. 2017. 2017, 2018.
We only know that off the top of our heads because we've been doing research on movies to make us sad. Let us know in any comments, reviews, or however else you reach out to us that if you would like to have us watch sad movies, that's a potential future topic.
I'm looking it up. How many employees does A24 have? I don't know how to actually figure this out. I don't know where to find this.
That's okay.
I know it's not. Okay. How do I get rid of this page? Anyway, I have another fun fact. This was the 122nd highest grossing film in 2017. How many films
Put in your guesses now of what we watched if you haven't seen it in the title already.
Yeah. You want to know how? Actually, seeing how many movies came out, overall not bad.
I feel like the marketing for this was very different because I remember wanting to watch this, but I could also be mixing it up with a vampire movie with a similar title.
Yeah, I know what movie you're talking about. Let the Right One In?
Yeah,
or something?
Yeah.
Because when I was getting ready to watch this, I was
you also thought.
I'm like, is this the one with the little like vampire child? That's like.
That's in 2008. Oopsies.
But there was 733 movies that came out in 2017, and this one got 122. I think we both agreed though we would prefer to watch. Moonlight got 119.
Nice. Let the Right One In has a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. Apparently.
I heard good things about it.
That just explains why I think. Here's what I'll say. I had different expectations for this movie, and it must be because I mixed up movies.
Yes. I think as we were saying earlier, like, It isn't a terrible movie, but it isn't like the words that just popped in my head. I'm like, we never said this for like how good a movie was, but I'll say what my brain just was like. Say these words. And I'm like, I don't think I want to. It was just like, this movie's so good I crap my pants. It's like it's not not that.
It's not crappable pantsing.
Yeah,
the
it's
movie.
not. Yeah, it's not a complete blowout.
Sorry, that's a particular phrase I see used when babies poop out of their diapers.
Yep, that's why I used
okay.
it, because I was just talking with parents who had
Diaper poopies.
I think like 2 or 3 of them all right in a row before they could get on the call. So it's like, that's why we're late. And it's like, it's okay. I don't have kids.
I cannot imagine the pain you're going through, but I'm glad I can't.
Oh my goodness. IMDb on here, if you scroll down, it says more like this. Number 1, Green Room. Number 2, Saint Maud. Number 3, I don't know. We haven't watched that. Number 4, A Ghost Story.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I feel like Green Room is more high energy. I feel like Saint Maud and I can see the similar vibes. Ghost Story.
Well, look, we didn't ask for your review of Ghost Story right now.
Ghost Story is just as quiet as this movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's my review.
We did really start without being prepared because I'm trying to get the timer set up too.
We were so excited to talk to you guys about this movie that
It's not almost 10 p.m. and we're like, these go for at least an hour.
I was crocheting and Itisdpayne was in a Google spree and I didn't stop him because I was crocheting.
Look, this is why we're friends. we don't stop our bad decisions until we're like, oh no.
I like to call it parallel play. We're only a little bit not normal.
Yeah, one of these days we're just gonna sit here and like we're gonna turn on the cameras and I'm just gonna have I will be having a Britney moment. I'll just be bald.
Leave Itisdpayne alone.
Exactly. Or don't.
Are you also fighting for control of your estate and your money?
I have those? Against the government.
Okay. So, segue
before
no we end
fun.
up. Before we say things.
Hey, books. Let's get all the tangents out of the way. No, books comes in 2 weeks, guys, okay? Spoilers for not spoilers. Whatever. You'll learn in next week, okay?
We gotta remember to bring that up. Well, we have a guest.
Actually, we might want to just bring it up now because I know how guest episodes go. So.
Okay. So
go ahead. This was your idea, so I'll let you do it.
As I said, we're getting to the end of our 24 with A24. I'll try to also announce it in next week's episode. But once we finish the series, we have just the tiniest bit of gap before we have set out the next thing we want to watch. Next thing we want to watch will last essentially through to Halloween for us, because
forever. No.
Halloween is a very we have our whole holiday season already planned, is what I'm gonna say.
Let's not lie to them. We have the whole rest of the year planned, guys.
Except for this. Well, this little gap is like a special little thing.
Yes,
so,
this was fun. A fun,
yeah. So
non-whatevers.
We have a childhood TV show, so that we get people interested in listening to other episodes. We give them a little sprinkle of what's going on. Yeah. We have a childhood TV show that we're gonna watch the first season of, from August into October. Then after that, we're going to have our usual holiday, like Christmas-ish movies, winter-esque movies.
I do like our winter one, even though I said we were ready, but I think we still need to like finalize.
Yeah, there's some parts of the list that are a bit of a stretch, but we're going to like expand on it. But that one is going to be a bit different than years past. We're not doing like... We
might actually enjoy what we're watching.
Yeah, I feel like we won't be overanalyzing it like we've done the last few Christmases.
There's no elf.
This Christmas, it's going to be more so just nice to ourselves instead of going, is it a Christmas movie? and torture
You know
ourselves.
what? This year of podcast episodes very much is let's be
Self-care.
nice to ourselves. Except for a couple of the A24 films, but we didn't know.
Yeah, we were
didn't
guessing
know.
and checking. But anyway, so what we're
Looking
doing...
at you, Ghost Story.
what we're doing in the little gap before August is doing some bookish episodes, because I know D-Payne and I had a lot of fun doing a bookish episode for his charity.
It was the first episode of the year, actually.
Yeah, that's when it came out. Do you have the date planned yet for Charity Palooza for this year? Do you know
I do.
when in July?
Yes.
We'll start plugging it now, because this is in June.
Yes, it will be July... Right now, July 20th.
July 20th, okay.
Yeah.
So last year, one of his fundraising goals was to do a bookish episode, so we did that. It's the start of this year. We're going to do more bookish episodes, but we're doing it with a fun little twist, where D-Payne is going to write down an oddly specific request, and I'm going to fulfill it and say, like, why I think my book fits his oddly specific request. And then I'm going to give D-Payne one, and he's going to give me a recommendation based on the specific request. So I've seen people do this on social media where it's like, recommend me a book about, or that reminds me of the way that rain smells. Like that kind of like really weird.
Oh. Recommend me a book about a kid looking at designed pajamas. Okay, moving on.
Sorry, we were going through a list of movies that will make you sad, and we were just like, duh. It's like I think Marley and Me is also a book too. So it's like movies that will make you sad. Marley and Me, yeah, everybody knows what that movie is. Of course, you're gonna be sad about it, starting it. In any case, but yeah.
Sorry, I got myself with that one.
So yes, so then...
You guys can figure out what I talked about.
So when it comes to the formats of those episodes are going to be different than these, of course. Where basically we're going to give each other requests ahead of time and then not tell each other what the books are. And then when we record, it'll be like
The
a little...
reveal.
The big reveal, a little bit about each book, and then why it fits the request, and then if we would recommend the book kind of like thing.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of how this podcast started. I didn't give you a chance to answer, but I think you'll be okay with it. It reminds me a little bit of how this podcast all started with us doing like tier lists and
Quizzes and...
I still remember that stupid candy cane episode. I say stupid. It was great.
Canes.
Yeah. What was is that the one that like killed people?
No, rotisserie chicken.
Was it rotisserie chicken?
Yeah, they opened it and they said like, or people were getting like botulism from it.
There was one that gave everyone like food poisoning from eating it.
Yeah.
It was that I can't remember, but
or roast turkey dinner, or like
I can't remember. I'm pretty sure.
I remember it was specifically a poultry based one.
I'm pretty sure the people that made those also made those flavored sodas we drank. Which...
Candles. We just drank candles. Which one? Apple pie might have been the worst one.
I
just remember
I'm pretty
it being
sure
really
if we
waxy.
I can't remember.
I just remember we both would take one sip and then go, mm-mm.
I also remember when we finished that episode, Strider walks in. He's like, "Are you okay? I heard the grossest of noises." And it's like, "Do you want some?" No.
For charity, I also ate the Bean Boozled beans, so.
So did I.
The things I'll do for content.
Oh? Hey? Oh, is that a hint for what's coming later? I don't know, but guess what? We're not talking about the future anymore. Well, maybe at the end of this episode when we tell you who the guest for next week is. But now it is time to talk about, if you didn't read the title, It Comes at Night. Not the title doesn't come at night, but that is the name of the movie, It Comes at Night.
I rolled the dice by accident.
Oh, well, which one? A D6?
It's a 10.
10.
It fell on my floor.
Okay, well, that's what we're rolling. Was it the one with 2 digits or single digits?
2 digits.
Okay. So, for anyone that's wondering, wait. Yeah, okay, this is the only one. Oh, wait, I want to roll this one. yeah, so pretty much we're gonna roll dice, and whoever.
I'm a liar. It's a D12. I was like, why would a D10 have double digits?
She's trying to win.
I sat there. I was like, there's a 10 on my dice. There wouldn't be a 10 on a D10. I'm not tired at all.
There's literally a 10 on my D10 right
That's a
here.
D100.
No,
That's a D100.
It's got 10 sides.
That has digits of 10. It's a D100.
Any poops. Yeah, so we're gonna roll dice. We're gonna find out who goes first. Not first. Who's
gives
going
the
to
synopsis.
the synopsis of the film, and then when we're done with that, we'll have a 30-minute timer, which I can already tell by the energy that we're both giving off that it's probably going to be an interesting episode. And now that I jinxed it, we'll see if we recommend it. But any poops, I'm rolling. Oh, I rolled a 5.
I rolled a 2.
Well, we never determined what.
Give the description, Itisdpayne. It's an easy peasy one. You got an easy one.
Yeah, way easier than everything everywhere all at once.
I just had multiverses for that one.
Yep. Marvel. An isolated family hiding from an unknown kind of disease disaster in the world has to come face to face with their own isolation as they start meeting another family, and there's a dog. Start time.
Was a dog. Content warning. The dog dies. Spoilers, by the way, guys.
Yes. Okay. Quick thing about the dog. My second note for here is dog. Even though the dog is literally in the not in the trailer for the IMDb, but I think is in the
He's
trailer
on the
for one of the
poster.
things. Yeah, the poster. And
When the dog
looking
wouldn't
at-
stop barking, I was like, the dog doesn't make it to the end of the movie.
yeah, but
I'm just
every
happy
time,
we didn't see what did it.
yeah, the looking at oh, by the way, guys, I don't think I said this. Super spoilers, okay? We're spoiling this all, okay? This movie that came out a while ago. But yeah, the other thing that kept going through my head is Resident Evil 4 with Leon is like, it's that dog. Because, but you know what? I do have a serious question before we start. Is it while we start, is it in like A24's like contract that all houses and buildings that have paintings have to be the creepiest looking paintings ever?
And the longest hallways.
Yeah. This house, like, what I wrote this down. Film-wise, this house is great for the shots they're getting, but living in this specific event would suck.
It's a very big house for not a lot of people.
Yeah. But like I understand like one way in, one way out, but literally they chose the only way in that is a literal 90-degree turn that like you have no visual down and you're trying to keep people out. I was like, that there was some
Architecture is weird, yeah.
I was like, why was that the chosen place? Like, unless I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's a reason, but like we don't really get to see a lot of the outside of the building.
Yeah, we just see like walls. We don't see like the full picture of the house.
Yeah, like I think one of my favorite shots in the movie is when what's his face? Travis, I think this is when Sarah, when she's down in the kitchen, but like he doesn't know that yet, and he's walking down, but the way it's set up is like the camera's sitting there and he like walks down behind one of the things, but like the wall is covering where he turns. And so he's just like, he walks down, and then a couple seconds later he walks down the other way, but you don't see him get on the other staircase. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that was a really neat shot.
The other shot I really liked, I think was towards the beginning, was when they emphasized the really long hallway when he's like reminiscing over like the time before all of this happened and he's looking at the photos. and you see like the family photos along the wall, and then it's just like a hallway, door. And I was like,
Yep.
that was a cool shot.
Yeah. Like there's some really cool things about this, and then it was just like a flat soda of a plot.
So, okay. So what I'll say about this movie is I understand what audience this movie is for, and it's not for me. There's not a lot of movies where I feel as paranoid. Like, it's hard for me to feel as paranoid as characters do in situations. It's easy for me to feel extremely sad about sad things happening, but when it comes to like anxiety and paranoia, I find that it doesn't always translate very easily for me on film. One of the only movies I can think of is like The Thing, but I think it's because the scary aspect of the movie is like it's very visual, and it makes a lot of sense why people are reacting the way they are. And I know that like something unknown is also just as scary, but I don't feel like the tension the way that these like people do. But I think this movie does well for people that are like kind of like doomsday preppers, people that are also like I don't know, it feels weird having watched this, that it feels weird that this movie came out before the pandemic, and it feels weird watching it in like I mean, there's still an active pandemic going on, right? Like, the disease is still there and people are still being negatively affected by it, like, long term. But it also feels weird watching it as having lived it. I don't know, it's
Gone
fine.
through the isolation part.
Aspect, yeah.
Yeah.
And the worry about, like, wearing masks,
Sick,
gloves, washing hands frequently, being worried if you're sick, being worried, like, is it
Coming
a
in
cough? Is
yeah.
it worse? How do I isolate myself to protect others? But like this movie is like, how do we isolate ourselves so that we're never gonna get sick? Because in this one, it's a lot more of an in your face kind of illness. But yeah, I don't know. It just
Yeah, it's pretty much the whole plot is very front door. Like it's
it is
you
about the door.
But yeah, as I said, I'm like anyway. um but looking at it, it's just like, okay, man, break in. Should we trust him? You know what? He says he has goats and chickens.
And
So,
family.
which this yeah, and family. And so I'm like, okay, is this movie going to be the road trip to get them? But no, it just skips that.
It was like this movie was kind of like what like I don't know. Have you played the Walking Dead games?
I played the first one, but I've seen them played. I
Okay.
watched them on
This
YouTube.
parts of this reminded me of the first one, where like he's except yeah, you're right. There isn't really a lot of journey. Like it's just the whole like, are you a liar? I'm not a liar, but you lied. You're lying right now. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. I'm already here. Ha ha. And it's like,
And then we drop a salt lick on their head.
I did do that.
I would have too.
He was mean and maybe racist.
Yeah. And then Kenny. Anyway,
He was just mean.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, he had a crappy son too. Anyway,
Yeah, I thought this was gonna be zombies at first too. It comes at night,
yeah, I thought vampires.
especially
Really,
with the name of the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that was done on purpose, where it makes you worried about like, oh, what is out there? Because isn't the son also drawing like scary things? But I think that's just him trying to rationalize what his dog
Yeah.
was going after.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, it never actually shows what the threat is. Like, I don't know. Another like the thing is like anything that would explain what the event, whether it's an invasion, like
A creature.
a creature to anything else, would change the whole concept of the movie. But it's like, I don't know. Could it be like possession because it is an A24 film and they like that?
They do be doing that.
But yeah, it's just like as Hop was saying, like the movie isn't about the outside threat. It's not about like, oh man, like, because there's like a good like 30-minute. There's like the movie's an hour and a half. There's like pretty much 3 acts, all about 30 minutes. Like the first act is, do we trust this guy who just tried to break in our house, and like let us know like how everything is, how careful this family is. The second act is, okay, everything's a little bit peaceful.
Humanity, yay.
Yeah, like we're friends. And then it's this like Joel's just like, oh no, Joel's the name of the actor.
Yeah.
Paul is
That's The Last of Us.
yeah, Paul is like, can't trust them, son. they'll turn on us. And then
something desperate,
yeah.
people.
And then the last one is the eventual turn.
I was gonna, it just got stuck in my head. Yeah, I think you started to say downturn, and I was in my head I went down with the sickness, and I was like, oh, that's a bad joke.
Down with the sickness. So I do have a question that I think there's not really a lot to say about this, but there's
I thought you were saying the movie. Sorry, go ahead. There's not a lot to say about the movie. And I was like, whoa, bold.
I don't know. There is a question like that I'll save like, I don't know, when we get to like the last 5-ish minutes of the thing, but yeah, let's see, where I'm like looking through my notes. There's not a lot of notes. I realize the more we watch, the like farther we get into this list, the less notes I take. But yeah, even though this movie, like as we said, like plot wise and everything wasn't great, there are some things that there are some shots that I think are great, and I think one of the things that is done well is just pretty much any time like they have to like anytime it's like nighttime, pretty much. I think they play with light and like the darkness of the area, like
I agree with you. I thought the visuals and the directorial choices and the director of photography set up things really well. Like, I never had a problem with how things were shot, and we both mentioned that there were a lot of, like, scenes that we thought were cool. But, yeah, for me, at least, it was like, I was watching it more for the aesthetic of the movie rather than what was happening in the movie.
Yeah. Like, I think one of the first scenes in the movie, one of the early scenes, is when Will breaks into their house, and he's like, thought it was empty, I'm sorry, I'll leave, and they do everything that he can, but like he goes out to make sure that there's nobody else out there. And it just has like this short scene of him like in pitch darkness, flashlight, and like the camera's behind us as he's like shining the flashlight into the woods looking back at there. And at this point, like for the most part, nothing's really explained, as we said, like of what the source of what they're afraid of is. Like we know what they're afraid of because like the beginning of the movie shows us like what they're afraid of. And like the threat and why they're isolated, but like we don't know the cause, like if it's a disease, some sort of
airborne, if it's
airborne, yeah. It seems like it's something
contact.
The way, yeah, like especially like through blood or something like that, but it seems like by contact, but like that's not the point of the movie to explain how this thing. It's just, as Hop was saying earlier, like the stress and the anxiety of it, but like I think he pretty much like knocks the Will out and then just shines the light, and like we're watching him, like the camera's over his shoulder, and then he turns around and like the way the light hits, like we see him shining his light, but it's just black behind him. Mm-hmm. And it's just like
really emphasizes the like loneliness of it all. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But like if it was a different style movie, it would turn around, or have been like some sort of like ant monster. So
Slender Man.
Yeah, just like, hey.
Yeah, and I think like yeah, like it was shot well. I think the other thing that like I was hoping for in this movie outside of like the visuals. I was really hoping that something would happen that I wasn't expecting. But it almost follows the like the I would say the quote unquote human condition side of the apocalypse, kind of almost to a T. And I don't remember if a zombie movie or some other apocalyptic movie or dystopian movie came out soon before this that people were like, someone felt like they needed to write, oh, but that could be it. But then what about this look at the same kind of situation? Because I feel like movies like this tend to come out. What? Oh wait, when did World War Z come out?
Finish your thought and I'll look it up.
Yeah, but I feel like movies like this tend to come out when you have like a lot of action-packed like zombie-esque movies. Then you have the flip side where it's like, realistically, if we were in a situation like this is what it would be like for us people that aren't like fantastical action hero movie stars that are doing all this stuff. But like this one just is so straightforward for what it's like. I hate to say it, but as soon as we meet the guy, I went, oh, they're gonna fight and they're all gonna die.
Yeah, I literally have a note saying things are going too well. When is the child getting sick?
Yeah, it was so like not scripted because it's literally scripted, but it's
yeah. Also, World War Z came out in 2013.
So maybe that's why, because
Might have been the inspiration. Yeah, I don't know.
The flip side of it.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's trying to think. Okay, so when Stanley the dog runs off, and Travis chases him, just like yelling and all that stuff, and then Will catches up with him, and then Paul does as well, and Paul's yelling at him. I like to believe that him just slipping and eating it on the ground was not scripted. I
They just left it in.
They're just like, it was the best take, and it does feel like
realistic,
a touch of life, where he's just like, he's running, just like, told you not to blah blah blah.
Yeah, because like, what is it, like Leonardo DiCaprio in the Django Unchained like broke the glass,
Yeah.
and he just kept doing his lines as he's pulling like the fake glass out of his hand, and they were like, that wasn't supposed to happen, but it's a really good shot. Keep the cameras like going.
There's just a few things like that, and then it's like, that's why it's like the girl that he's like spreading his blood on her face is like actually like freaking out. I'm just like, I never seen Django. That was like one of the movies that like a few of my friends like years ago were like, oh, we got to get Itisdpayne to watch this.
It's a Tarantino film.
Yeah,
not to say positive or negatives, but
yeah. But like, oh, go ahead, finish your thought.
The fan base for Tarantino films make me believe that he can do no wrong, and I didn't have major problems with Django Unchained. It's just there are a lot of things in it that I was like, okay,
Yeah,
that are quintessentially Tarantino.
yeah. Pretty much the only reason why these friends wanted me to watch it was they wanted to see my reaction to all the slurs and stuff that is said. It wasn't anything about them. I was like, why would I want to watch this? And they're like, we want to see your reaction. I'm like, why? Oh, that reminded me. I had a fun opener, but we were just super chaotic. And I just looked over and I was like, oh, man, there was this. I'll save it for the end. It's real quick, hopefully. Or I'll just share it with you when we're done. But anyway. So, but yeah, there was that.
I was curious when I will say, I did kind of, the thing that I liked the most about the plot of the movie were the nightmares that the son was
just
having.
about to talk about that, yeah.
But unfortunately, they also made the movie, like, again, too predictable, because him having the dream about, like, making out with the new lady in the house and then her throwing up all over him. I was like, okay, so that family's sick. And then he wakes up and he's like, I hear the kid crying from the attic. And I was like, yes.
No, sorry, not Sarah. Sarah's his mom, Kim. So.
Also, this is another A24 film where you have a teenager who just likes looking at boobs and making everybody uncomfortable. I'm looking at you,
Why are you looking at me?
witch. I'm looking at you, the witch. You're seducing
yes.
your brother. What? Who? Me?
Well, at least these two aren't related.
That's true. She just has a husband and child already.
Yes, it's like I'm not saying that it's not better, but it's like, hey, a little less incest.
Yeah, but I think the movie, with the added aspect of his nightmares, helped me like kind of get the paranoia. But then it also was just like, I was also trying to figure out who I would be in this movie if like I were in the situation, how I would react. I'd probably be Sarah, where I'd just be sitting there and be like, your dad said to do it, so we're doing it. We have to kill them. We have no options.
It's super metal. I don't know how it would be. I want to be the goat. They bring the goat in. He cool. He's just chilling.
They just have him on his little leash and he just sits there.
Yeah, nah. I could see. I don't know. I don't know who I would align with.
Maybe I'd be Kim, but also, I don't have children. It would literally be if my rabbits got sick, I'd be like, you killed my baby.
So it'd be Travis. Dog go missing. He's like,
I guess Travis. I don't want those nightmares, though.
you can have different ones.
I also don't know that I'd snoop on people in the attic.
They don't have
really
cable
my energy.
TV. He's trying to find out what he's trying to figure out life.
It is unfortunate they don't have a single book, and that would drive me stir crazy.
They
not
did.
having-
No, they had a book. It was Paul's journal or whatever it was. Never said it was a good book. Oh yeah. So one more thing that I want to mention before I share my question, because my question is related to the nightmares. So earlier in the movie, around the 30-minute mark, Paul and Will kind of get ambushed by two random dudes. And
That's why I said it reminded me of The Walking Dead.
mm-hmm. It
Or Last of Us.
Reminded me more of The Road, which is another kind of like...
That's a book.
It's a movie, too. And that's what I was wondering. That I was about to say, I'm like, you know what? I bet It Comes at Night would make a better book. But anyway, because I'm not here to talk about that. But they have this thing there, and it's like Paul can't has to shoot a dude 8 times, from 10 feet away or 10, 15 away. And it's just, I will say there's a part in the thing where he's still not trusting Will. I wrote down the time code, which doesn't help us because I'm pretty sure we both rented the movie. And they're done. But at the 29-minute, 8-second mark, there's these 2 weird-looking stumps as you're driving by, and they looked like people. Yeah, so did I. I'm like, those stumps.
That's a person.
I'm like, those look like 2 people. Which I was
and then he does a little nod, and I was like.
And then gunshot. It's like.
And he wasn't scared. He stayed in the truck bed until Paul was like, "Oh God, I'm gonna die. We're gonna die." On the ground. And then he's like, "You know these people?" And he's like, "I nearly killed him by punching him. Then why did you tell me not to shoot him?"
I didn't see him. I thought that part was
suspicious.
Yeah. So anyway, I only bring that up because Paul has a hard time shooting these humans that are that are literally coming to attack him and from that far away. At the end of the movie, he blasts the kid who is being protected by Sarah. Sarah's running.
What I will say is I think Kim. I think he was trying to shoot Kim and shot the kid.
Yeah, but still, better aim at the end of the movie after having his face pummeled in, and then shoots and gets the kid who's being protected by his mother, kills kid, and I'm just like, oh, now you hit your shot.
What I also was gonna say is I was hoping we would have
the kid would die. Wow, morbid.
I was hoping we would get a little bit more of a reveal on how much Will was lying. Because, like, shortly before all of the stuff goes down, they were drinking together, and he's like,
He
I'm
said
an
that he was
only
staying with his
kid.
brother, and then yeah,
And then he says he's an only kid, and the guy's like, what else are you lying about? He's like, you know, like a brother-in-law. Like, he feels like my own brother. And he's like, I'm going to bed. And he's like, dog, we're friends now. And it's like, that's weird.
yeah. Like, I don't know. I know some people that are that close with family, so it's like I could see it not being too far of a stretch, like for Will to say that, but
Yeah,
then
Will's
like
been,
Al,
like, suspicious. Yeah.
oh yeah, like his whole thing is that, and then but like Paul's like Captain Paranoid in this movie about everybody, even like
Extra paranoid, yeah.
so. But anyway, like we got 6 minutes left.
Question time.
So my question was, when do you think Travis was actually infected? My only question is, were the nightmares and the paranoia just the stress, or was it a side effect of the infection? Because they say he shows signs, but I'm like,
The only reason why I think it's related to, specifically to the kid getting sick, is because of they say that his grandfather showed signs within 24 hours. And like it is possible that he got sick helping to deal with a grandfather, because their mom in the very beginning of the movie is like, he's 17, why'd you bring him out there? And the dad's like, well, I can't do
yes,
it myself. That's multiple days ago. Like, we see night and day happen multiple
yes.
times.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
So, and they said they were quarantining the new family for 3 days. So, I don't think it's the grandfather that's the cause. But the kid was in the grandfather's room.
Yeah.
So,
But
I'm
like
cur-
sorry, go ahead, finish.
I wonder if maybe there's something weird in the attic that got left behind or something. I forget all the things he came into contact with, because Travis spends a lot of time scavenging throughout the house. Like, he gets, like, crayons for the kid and all that stuff. I don't remember what room that's in that he gets all that stuff.
It's not very clear.
Yeah.
But yeah, because like the other thing is like he could have caught it when the door was open, when
The door was slightly ajar, yeah.
which that's still not very clear on how
Who
that
opened
happens.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
He could have been sleepwalking. He could have opened the door.
Yeah. So like it is one of the things like us as viewers we don't know is like, is sleepwalking a side effect of these of whatever? Because like when they asked if Andrew sleepwalks, like Will and Kim got very offended.
Offensive. Yeah.
Which it's like, yeah, I could understand. It's just, I don't know. Like, it seems like a legitimate question. It's just like, well, why was the door open? And
Yeah,
then,
but there's the flip side where, like, they ask their son, what do you remember last night? And he says, I can't remember.
yes.
Which could be indicative of him having a fever, right? Like, he doesn't really know what happened the day before. Whereas our main character is like, oh, I remember things like, I saw this, I saw this, I saw this. And then everyone going, you were just tired, right? Don't lie about my son. He's like, I don't, what?
Look, I had a weird dream about you. Don't ruin this. But yeah, it's the only thing I would say, like, would question if that was the case of him having these nightmares, because yeah, they seem like physical contact, like they're like avoid physical contact and all that. Like, did you touch it? Did you touch it? And like stuff like that.
Yeah, he held hands with the boy to help
Held
him get
hands
back
with
to
the
room.
boys, but the thing is, like, the mother, she was like if he really was, if they were afraid he was infected, like she was like doing skin on skin, like she wasn't wearing gloves or protection, like she was hugging him and trying to
I'm
comfort
pretty
him.
I'm pretty sure the mom decided whether
Oh, yes.
the husband agreed or not. The mom decided, like, if Travis is going down, I'm going down too. Yeah.
And so, but like there's definitely that. But like the only thing I guess I was wondering is like every dream ended the same way, where it's
Him being infected.
him getting infected, and I'm like, was he infected the whole time? And it was just like It's the question I have, because it's like we don't have the scientists to explain how the disease works.
Yeah, it could very well be that. It could be the paranoia. It could be a mix of both.
Yeah. So
I mean, he also says he hasn't been sleeping well for some time. He could have been immunocompromised from not sleeping well. Because, like, he's even a much lighter sleeper than his parents between the nightmares and everything.
Because he's the one that catches, well, except for
he hears
the first time
Yeah.
when Will breaks in. So, but yeah, no, that was something I was wondering. I was like, okay,
it is an interesting thing to consider.
Like,
it's just when they say, like, how long it's taken people to get infected, it would be based on everything his dad has, like, kept track of. You would think he'd have gotten sick sooner.
Yeah.
But of course, kids could also be susceptible to getting sick more often than the adults, too. Because that's also a common thing. Again, immune systems.
Like, I don't know. It could be something that, like, they show signs at a certain point, like, visible signs, because it's just, like, they said, like, the boils and all that. And because, like, his dreams kept getting more and more, like, his
Visceral.
grandfather and, like, and stuff. So, that's the thing. I don't know. It's a fun theory about a question that will never get answered. So,
or maybe the director at one point answers it. Just depends.
I don't know. I'm too lazy to actually look it up.
That's fine. Do you have anything else you wanted to bring up from your notes?
Nah, I think I covered all the notes that I have here, and just a quick scan. I think we kind of covered everything that I wanted to, and the time's up, so.
Let me see if there's any fun trivia.
I'll look at goofs. Plot holes. Hold on. Given the family's fear of discovery, why would they light fires at night or in the early morning when they could be seen many more miles away? This is never explained. Oh, there's another one. It's insinuated that the kid is the one who opens the door, but we just said this, but does not have access to one of the set of keys.
The cast and according to this trivia on IMDb, the cast and crew of the film signed a non-disclosure agreement that forbids them forever revealing what comes at night. However, fans and critics are in agreement that Travis's dreams are what comes at night.
Yeah. Oh well. Oh wait, the crew is visible? Okay, hold up. In one of the first few cutaways of Stanley barking in the woods, you can see a person's arm slightly appear and then hide behind a tree again. It's more likely a member of the crew there to enable Stanley's barking for the shot. Man, I wish I noticed that.
Alright, well, the trivia, there's not too much in here. Like, one of them says that the aspect ratio for the movie changes at a certain point so that it represents them being tunnel visioned. It's like, yeah, makes sense. Oh, yeah, and then there's also the back and forth that, like, the whole discussion of who was sick first, right? Like you said, like, is it Travis or Andrew that's sick first and gets the other one sick?
Oh, Stephen King wrote an original treatment for this, but swore the production company to secret. He wanted to go uncredited.
This seems like a Stephen King kind of.
Yeah. All right. Well, would you suggest this to anybody?
To people that like, I don't even know how to describe this movie. Like, I would recommend this to someone who finds isolation movies interesting. Because it is like, it's a movie about people and desperate people and what desperate people are willing to do.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd watch this again, and I don't know that I'd watch it with people.
Yeah, I think I would really have to like the people or person if they really wanted to watch it. But I don't know. It might be one of those things that might be more enjoyable on a second watch, but there wasn't really anything in the first watch that, like...
I don't know that there's a lie. Like, the only scene that I would, like, really try and pay a lot more attention to is the one where he goes to pick up his family. Because, like you said, like, are those tree stumps, are those people? Did he nod to the guy in the rear view? Or you said you double checked.
I literally paused, and they do look like people just sitting in the woods.
Yeah, and then the other thing is, like, did he nod to him in the mirror to say, like, yeah, we're good? Did he nod to somebody else to say, like, yeah, start shooting? You know, like, that's the only part that was, like, I had to rewind because, like, I was like, did he run over something? And then I was like, oh, it says gunshots in the captions? Wait, who shot who? Like, it's, like, a very confusing scene, but it, like, it builds up Paul's paranoia because he's like, I told you guys, there's bad people out here.
Yeah, the theory could be those two guys were his uncle. Or like his uncle and
his dad and
brother-in-law or whatever it was, and that was the plan. But when Paul killed him, he's like,
"I got to be on Paul's side."
Okay, time to switch sides.
Yeah, because Paul does have a massive house.
Yeah, it's like, and I never liked this guy anyway, so. Yeah. So, I think we're into the same thing. Like, yeah, like. I don't know. It's not high on our list to watch it again.
A lot of the rest of the dialogue, there's not much to read into. It's not like rewatching something like Hereditary, where the introduction of Hereditary is a reference to another part of the movie.
I feel like all of Hereditary is a reference to something else in Hereditary.
It starts within like the 30-second mark, and you're like,
I have to take notes. I'm pretty sure Midsommar somehow is a reference to Hereditary as well. It's probably where that cult started. Like that, they're just like, okay,
the family cult, yeah.
It's like, okay, Paimon's somewhere in Washington State or wherever the first one takes part. So we gotta go. Those naked old people are gonna be showing up soon. So we gotta make some room.
Yeah, because like. I liked this better than Ghost Story.
That's not a good metric.
I mean,
I don't. To be fair, I know people apparently watched Ghost Story a lot more than this movie because it got another
re-release in theaters.
Yeah,
I would say this is probably amongst my bottom 5 for the movies we've watched so far. It's in the bottom 5. I know we're not specifically ranking the movies, but this would be.
The thing is, though, like, it's in the bottom 5, but it's still better than some of those stupid Christmas movies we watched last
It's not
year.
A bad movie.
Yeah,
but in comparison to other A24 films, specifically the ones we watched in this list, it's
Look, it's no romantic comedy like The Lobster.
Like, if I had, we are nearing the end of the series, and I don't have much else to say about this movie. No offense to this movie, but like, if I had to give a top 5, it's really hard. Like, there are some real good movies in here.
How about a top 24?
Yes, like I think I would put in my top 5, just quickly scanning the list: Hereditary, The Lighthouse.
This is actually a good time to do this because, guys, next week is Swiss Army Man with Blackjack. Blackjack is joining us. We're doing Swiss Army Man, but
we might not have a chance to do this recap. We might do it in the beginning of the book episode because then we'll have officially watched all the movies. But so if I were to give a top 5, I'd say Hereditary, The Lighthouse, Everything Everywhere All at Once. The one that surprises me is I think I'd put Green Room in there, and I was not expecting it based on the type of movie. I don't usually like those type of movies. And then my 3-way tie after that is Minari, Moonlight, and Past Lives.
Yeah, I think
that's a top 8.
Yeah, I think my top 5 would probably be, I don't know, Ex Machina, which is like, that's one of my favorite movies of all time. So
I like Ex Machina too, but
but no, it's like, Hey, our list don't have to share, but yeah, I like Ex Machina, Hereditary. Let's see. I did really enjoy Everything Everywhere All at Once. Let's see. There's just three. I'm like quickly scanning the top five, or scanning them all. Yeah, like Green Room, I think that would also be one, like just
the adrenaline in Green Room
yeah.
is handled so well.
Yes, and just
like it like I was paranoid in that movie. I was like, what's gonna
mm-hmm. And I don't like. I honestly think the last three that you said, like all like Minari, Moonlight, and Past Lives, I would say the same thing. Like it's just
they're all like the same vibe, but they're all really good. Yeah. I was debating on putting The Whale within that list, but I think The Whale is like just below it for me.
I think I wouldn't mind watching a production of The Whale, like a play production, because it is not theatrical, but like Broadway stage thing.
Yeah. Yeah, because like I think for me, Minari, Moonlight, and Past Lives are really good. I believe the category I've seen it listed for books is own voices, where you get the human experience of from like a particular lens that you don't usually get to see. Whereas The Whale is also told from like a human lens you don't always see, but it's so, again, theatrical. Like, not for positive or negative. It's so theatrical that it's like for The Whale, it's hard for me to see myself in the shoes of some of the characters. Whereas Minari, I was like, oh, this hurts.
Yeah.
Moonlight, I was like, no, please stop hurting.
Yeah.
And then Past Lives, I was like, just kiss.
Maybe you hurt a little bit more.
I think if I had to do
bottom five, are we on the same thing?
You can go first.
All right, X Pearl.
Tell me how you really feel.
I already did. There's whole episodes on it.
It's like the joke where it's like, well, you could have like given it a little bit more thought. You didn't have to answer right away.
I gave my thought while you were explaining your thoughts on Minari, Moonlight, and Past Lives. No, but it's no surprise. No surprise. It's that, and then let's see. So that's two.
You already know what's going to be in my bottom
five. Ghost Story, I think, would also be in there. It Comes at Night would also be in there. These aren't in like actual order of how I like or dislike them, but
like they fall flat compared to a lot of the other movies.
Yeah, I think I would also probably throw Dream Scenario in bottom five for me.
I agree. So yeah, for me, it's definitely Locke, Dream Scenario.
Wait, what movie?
Locke. Locke. Locke, Dream Scenario. It Comes at Night. I don't hate X and Pearl. I understand what they're doing. I actually think The Witch is in my bottom five.
Yeah, Witch was a close one for me.
And The Witch is the same thing as It Comes at Night, where it's like, it checks all the boxes, but I don't want a movie that checks the boxes when I'm watching like movies like this. I want something that's going to do something I'm not expecting.
You know what, to be fair, I think I probably switched The Witch and Pearl. Like, Pearl, I did enjoy more than X.
There was really good character stuff in Pearl.
I did not enjoy X, but I think I would enjoy Pearl on its own. But I know that they go together.
Yeah, that's fair. And then, A Ghost Story for sure.
I don't know. Every time I look at Ghost Story and I'm like...
Life After Beth is pretty close to being bottom five.
I think I just like that movie because we got to talk with Kathy.
Kathy, yeah, that was fun. Like, was that our only, like, true comedy in this one? They say Dream Scenario is a dark comedy, but I didn't find Dream Scenario
The Lobster was
funny.
A romantic comedy. I don't know why you, John, and Elizabeth never agreed.
It is a dark comedy.
It is the best comedy.
I love The Lobster. No. Like,
yes.
If we didn't have such good movies in this list, The Lobster would be in my top five. But I don't know what part of my brain is.
Half.
Yeah. I don't know what part of my brain is broken, that I'm just obsessed with the lighthouse. We have
Yeah.
two stinky men who smell like garbage calling each other fart faces and then almost kissing. Like, it's... it's
Oh yeah, like
magnificent.
it's definitely in the upper half for me, but it's
Yeah,
just
but Ex Machina has a special place in your
yes, yeah. I like that movie a lot, which is why I'm like I have to watch it before we talk about it. I'm not gonna do another
You're not
Shining.
going to let System Chalk go, like, what did you think of this? And you go, that's a great question.
I haven't watched this movie since 2001 or 2021. Whenever
That's when we did our Halloween thing?
Yeah, I was like trying to
bracket?
remember when we did the Halloween thing. It's weird that we've been recording this for that long. But yeah, it's now let's do top guest now.
In any case,
But no, it's yeah.
watch It Comes at Night at your own risk. It sounds so bad. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's like so okay, it almost makes it bad in my opinion, because I'm gonna forget about it in like a week. Whereas Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is last week's episode, I'm gonna be thinking about until my deathbed.
Knowing
I've
how this
also-
comes like for somehow Everything Everywhere All at Once is going to show up if we do another A24 series, like just how Ex Machina and Hereditary.
Just keep showing
Hereditary will probably show up on it again. It's just like, okay, who else can we get to talk about this?
Yeah, but I mean, I the only thing that keeps me from quoting Everything Everywhere All at Once is that I've also watched The Challengers recently, and I've been quoting that a lot.
I don't know what that is. Oh wait, is that that tennis?
It's not about tennis, but it is about tennis.
Okay, yeah, I seen
Boys
trailers.
kissing.
Moonlight. Oh man, if I remember, that's gonna be the cold open.
This movie, It Comes at Night, is not about boys kissing.
Hey, with different people showing up, it could have.
It's painfully straight.
So, but anyway, that is it, everybody. I hope you all have a good night and a better tomorrow, because it's nighttime here. But thank you for watching that. If you didn't catch it when we were going blah blah blahs, Swiss Army Man is next week, which will be the end of our series, and we have Blackjack joining us to close out the series, and yeah, prepare for book time. So anyway, we'll talk to y'all later. Peace.